Hi guys, today we'll talk about leadership. One of the presidential candidates went to my school and he was ridiculed for his responses. There's that big gap of what people expect of leadership and what they actually do. To be fair, there are some expectations that should have been met and how the responsibility extends to that. But it's also not fair if for any role that you're given to you're not going to give them heaven and earth or move mountains or raise the dead. That's one of the challenges when it comes to public governance. I've been in this experience where I thought of leadership the same way, but I'm expecting a lot from my leaders. This perspective actually changed. I remember one of the members in my team were complaining, my lead should do this, my lead should do that. She can go on all day enumerating all of the things that should be done and what she expects of the role. But if you actually compare what the lead is supposed to do or what a person is supposed to do from the job description, it's not really fair because there are some things that just fall on your plate. This includes having to deal with people or extended roles that just come out of the blue. Sometimes it wasn't even communicated that you'd have to deal with these types of things. There are some people who are successful in taking on additional scope. The best way to learn why there are some expectations of leaders that should be met, that can be met, and what the role is supposed to be is to just experience it. You cannot be a great leader if you haven't really experienced all of that. Going through that experience where you have a lot of expectations from other people and you're trying to meet and deliver all of these expectations all at the same time, especially bigger roles, and we give you more accountability, and sometimes there are expectations of how you run a company and how you run a government or how you run an organization that were not originally communicated to you or you might not even be prepared for. I do see a lot of people with that who become successful have that dynamism to adapt to these moving and evolving needs. You might see some of the people like expecting a leader to be able to handle people in this specific manner, and it will never be perfect because the expectation of one group of people within a public governance model or a certain group of people within a certain subset of organization might expect a different method of governance and or might expect a different form of how they deal with people or how to resolve issues. We should be more understanding with our leaders. Nobody comes into position wanting to be remembered as that evil person. Nobody's perfect. Everybody learns something new every day, and the moment you stop learning, you actually become an ineffective leader or an ineffective person. Having expectations with how public domain is controlled or improved is a very difficult task. And I'm not here to defend what our public officials are doing. I think there should be that clear role on what should be handled by such a loose task. Expecting to be able to deal with issues on this and that. I remember one of the questions asked to this presidential candidate was, were there illegal settlers in this particular group? And the response was a no. In reality, it was like around 3 to 5%. So he clarified, and for him, that qualified as a no. In some cases where you have a big scope, it might qualify to you as a no. Instead of giving that longer and more accurate response, you're not able to defend it properly. I think that would be a bit unfair. The question, I don't agree with this and that is not even a question. It's also a bit disrespectful. I think it's good that we did this exercise of this presidential candidate visiting the university. Though I'm seeing that there are expectations that were not met as well. I did not see any solutions. As the educated class, we should have responses as well as how to influence these as opposed to just complaining. What was definitely around that group was there was a reaction that we did not like what you claim, we disagree with what you claim. That's true, but I did not see a lot of recommendations on how we should deal with this or that. That ties back to what I was mentioning a while ago, that there are expectations we have of our leaders. The people who have undergone that experience of understanding that there are some expectations and actually more expectations that you will fail. As you go up the ladder or as you go up with the rank, you will know that there are even more and more expectations that you will not meet. It's very difficult. I think we should extend some patience as well as be more collaborative with how we provide our feedback to our leaders. In the end, there are still our leaders, and It's really important that we express who we want to select as our new leader for the government. At the same time, let's not be disrespectful. Suppose that goes to show that we drag down to the to the moment. As the intelligence was there in how the questions were asked, but in how to deal with these situations, it wasn't a question of did you want to implement this and this, and why was this the choice of implementation. Is more of a more appropriate and more respectful question, and that's how I would imagine the intellectual class would handle it. And those are my thoughts around leadership, what is expected of leadership, and why we should be more patient with leaders. If you have any comments on what happened with this presidential candidate's visit to the university, as well as what you think of leaders and what you expect of leaders, I'd like to know. Please leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching.